A. Let's start on our backs. That's always a popular place to start. And take a moment to settle in. Take a moment to notice your weight on the mat. Maybe you notice your head feeling heavy. Maybe you notice your shoulder blades. Maybe you notice the tops of those hip bones, you know, with the areas where if you tick-tock your hips a tiny bit, they bump the ground. Your quads, your calves, your heels, your elbows, your hands. Notice their weight. Notice the sensation of having them on the floor. If your hands are extended beyond your mat, maybe there's a temperature change from the mat to the floor. Just take a moment and notice all of it. I say this often, but when we notice how we're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, it's a good thing. Because if we're feeling something positive, it gives us an opportunity to enjoy it a little bit more, have gratitude for it a little bit more. When it's something that doesn't feel so great, there's an opportunity to adjust. And so let's shift our focus for just a moment from the physical body to the breath. Notice your breath. If you're not enjoying a nice inhale and a nice exhale, see if you can adjust to do that. And maybe when you exhale, there's a physical adjustment that takes place too. Maybe there's more weight in your body, more release onto your mat. Let's begin by waking up our neck a little bit. So just gently tick-tock your head from left to right as though you were shaking your head no. As you repeat this motion, see if you can go a little further to each side, deepening the stretch. Return to center, and it's a little more difficult with your head to the floor, but see if you can find that yes motion. Even if it's slow, even if it feels funny, looking up and then tucking your chin back to your chest. Return to center. Scrunch your shoulders up around your ears. And then really intentionally press them down. Don't just release them, but actively press them away from your shoulders or from your ears. Crunch them up. Press them down. What if you sync your inhales to the crunch, and your exhales to the release. Try maybe 4 rounds of that syncing of movement and breath. Return to center, hands to the ceiling. Let's warm up our wrists a little bit. It doesn't matter which way you're turning your wrists. Just wake them up a little bit. And then whichever way you're going, switch directions. Return to center, interlace your fingers like in a prayer style. Press your palms to the ceiling. Actively pressing your fingertips into the top of your hands, stretching out your joints in your hands. Maybe you're pressing so hard that you even feel some stretch up and down the arm. And release, keep your hands to the air and flick your fingers like you're trying to get water off of them. And release your hands to the mat. Let's lift our feet to the sky and gently point and flex your feet. Much like we did with the shoulders, I want you to be really intentional. Point as though you're really trying to touch that big toe to the ceiling. And then flex like you could walk on the ceiling. And there's an opportunity here too to sync your breath with your movement. Let's take a moment and roll out our ankles like we did our wrists. And switch directions. Take a moment and spread your toes as far apart as you can, and then crunch them together. Spread them apart, crunch them together. Spread them apart and crunch them together. Pull your knees to your chest. Option to wrap your arms, or you can leave your hands out at a T, but just gently tick-tock your knees from side to side, giving a little bit of massage to that lower back, gently starting to wake up the spine. And then keep your right knee to your chest and extend your left leg out long. This time, hug that right knee. I like to keep my head on the floor for this version, really focusing almost on like pulling your knee to your armpit. You should feel it across the front of your upper leg, your quad area. And then take your right hand to your right knee and open that knee up. And you can take this as much or as little as you want to. As always, this is a great place to put a block under your knee. I tend to make a fist and let my leg, my knee be supported by my hand. Your foot can be in the air, it can be on the ground. The intention is to get opening through the inside of that groin area. And so find your version of this, what feels good in your body. Bring that right knee back to center. This time I want you to grab that right knee with the left hand and pull the knee across your body for a supine twist. Option to extend your right arm to a T to provide some stability, ensuring that you're keeping the intention of the posture in the spine. And take a moment to notice your breath here too. as you exhale, there's an opportunity to relax into this posture a little more. Return that knee to center. Extend that right leg long. Reach your arms over your head and find a nice good morning stretch. Can you do this so intentionally that you feel it through your midsection? Where you feel it up and down your arms, you feel it up and down your legs. And release. This time, let's pull our left knee into the chest. Again, option to leave your head on the floor and focus your energy on pulling that knee toward your armpit. Noticing any sensations in the front of the leg, the quad area. Maybe there's some sensation in the back of the leg, the buttock area. Again, you know, so much of yoga is really just about conditioning ourselves to notice and to adjust. Take the right hand to the left knee, and we're going to pull that that left knee across this time. Again, an option to keep that left arm out to a T, to stabilize yourself, to keep the twist in the spine, rather than just rolling over onto that side. And release back to center. This time we're going to shift into happy baby. So bring both feet to the ceiling, your knees are bent. And if you're able to grab onto the outside of your feet, do that. If not, the back of your calves, the back of your knees, find your happy baby. Wherever you land, know that the intention is to actively pull your knees toward your body with your hands while you simultaneously push your feet to the ceiling. So this is a tension creating posture. You have the option to take turns extending one leg and then the other if that would feel good to you. You'll find in doing that, you get some opening through the groin area, which can feel really, really great. Option to rock, again, creating some massage for that lower spine. And release. Bring your feet to the floor, but with your knees bent. And we're going to move into bridge posture. So hands on your mat. I put mine facing down, but you do you. We're going to press into our feet and lift our hips to the ceiling. Notice your breath here. This can be a really challenging posture. Can you breathe even if this feels difficult? And release. We're going to do two more just like that. So inhale and press into your feet. And relax to the floor. Last one, inhale, press and lift your hips to the ceiling. And release. Pull your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around them and gently rock north to south. We're eventually going to be in tabletop. So however you need to get there. This is a great place for a blanket or a knee mat. We're not going to be here terribly long, but hey, comfort's comfort. And take a moment and just settle in here. Maybe you take some gentle circles to wake up the wrist a little bit more. Maybe deep hip circles would feel good. There's also an option for a barrel roll here. So if you think about it from front to back, you're kind of just waving forward and then tucking back down. So many options to change the position of your hands. Just take a moment and notice. Let's meet back at regular tabletop and take some cat-cows. So really exaggerate these. We're gonna puff up our back for cat, tucking the chin to the chest, creating space through the shoulder blades. And then for cow, we're gonna dip our tummies. You'll feel some extension across the front of the stomach, lifting the chin to the ceiling. Now move through maybe 4 or 5 of those on your own at your own pace. I love to sync my breath with movement here. And when you're done, let's meet at center. No hurry. Finish out your movements if you haven't already done so. From here, we're going to extend our right foot out to the side, heel to the floor. And before we move anymore, just take a moment and find a way to make this comfortable. You're probably feeling a lot of opening through the inner part of the leg. But maybe just kind of gently bounce or shift your weight back and forth. Feel this out. And then we're going to walk our hands up so that we can put our hands on our hips. Left hand goes to the floor and right hand comes up and over. And are you breathing? Are you breathing intentionally? Come back up, hands at the hips again, gently. If this doesn't feel good in your body, you've really got to pay attention to this. But it's an extended child's pose. So hands are going to come back to the floor and you're gently going to sit back. And if this doesn't feel good in your body, pull that leg in and move into a traditional child's pose. Returning to tabletop. Take a moment, wiggle it out. And then we're going to extend the left foot out to the side. Again, taking a moment to feel this out in your body. If having your toes to the ceiling doesn't feel good, maybe you plant your foot to the floor. How can you make this feel good in your body? Let's gently walk our hands up to the body and hands to the hips again. Right hand to the floor, left hand over the top. Really noticing that side body stretch. Return to center, hands on the hips for just a moment. And then we're going to gently sit back into that extended child's pose. From here, I want you to pull that left foot in and find a really traditional child's pose. As a reminder, if you have your knees wide, you're getting into the hips, which can be a beautiful thing. If you want more of a lower back opener, bring your knees together. But actively press your hands into the mat, actively extend through the arms. And maybe take a moment to rock your forehead from left to right. A little bit of that self-massage. I might have been doing this on my kitchen counter on Thanksgiving Day. I was getting a little frustrated, literally too many cooks in the kitchen. So you can do this anywhere. Now let's take our hands and walk them over to the right side of our mat, getting into that side body again. For the most depth in this posture, put your left hand on top of your right, although that is not required. Just something to play with. And then walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. This time, for that added depth, your right hand goes on top of the left. Let's walk our hands back to traditional child's pose. This time we're going to thread the needle. So take your right hand and thread it underneath your left arm. Maybe your right cheek comes to the mat. The intention here is to open through the outside of that right shoulder. Release so we can switch sides. So your right hand comes back to child's pose hand, your left hand threads under this time. And release. Bring both hands out in front of you, and we're going to slowly creep forward onto our bellies. So you'll be on your elbows. And let's take just a couple of breaths to stretch out the front body. So find that positioning of the hand that feels best to you. We're going to press into the mat, lifting into a baby cobra and release. If that doesn't feel good on your back, move your hands further from your body. If you feel like you need more, pull them closer and press little cobra. See if you can release your shoulders. There, beautiful. And release. We're gonna do one more press. And release. Keep your left hand close to your body. Extend your right hand all the way out to a T. We're going to press with our left hand and roll our body onto the right side. So this is whale posture. And this is getting into the other side of the shoulder. We did thread the needle to open the outside. This is going to open the inside of the shoulder. If this is too intense, don't fully roll to your side. If you want more, press into that left hand. You get to control it. Release to center so that we can switch sides. Your right hand comes close to the body. Your left hand extends. This time you're pressing into your right hand, rolling onto your left. Notice your breath. Are you still seizing the opportunity for the wonderful inhales and the equally wonderful exhales? And release to center. Let's bring both hands close to the body again, kind of like we did in Cobra. And we're going to do locust pose. So this is a low back strengthener. Basically, you're going to lift your hands just a couple of inches, keep your toes together, lift your toes a little bit, and think of it as a teeny tiny back bend. And you can lift as much as you want to, or just hover. And release. Let's do two more of those. Inhale, lift. Relax your shoulders if they're crunched. Release. One more. Inhale, lifting the body from the mat. And release. Press into your palms and find yourself in child's pose one more time. Just for a second, you may want to kind of move around gently in this posture. And then slowly find your way to a seated position. Get there however you want to get there. Legs extended straight out in front of you. And we've talked about this before, staff posture. Legs extended, toes to the ceiling, hands pressed into the floor so that you are really extending through the spine and the torso. And this is a lot of work. Just this simple looking posture is a lot of work. So make sure you're remembering the breath. On the next inhale, let's bring our hands to the ceiling, sweep them up wide. Inhale, and then on the exhale, forward fold. Maybe you can reach your toes, maybe you can't, it doesn't matter. Maybe you need to bend your knees, maybe they're straight, it doesn't matter. The intention is to feel some work through the hamstrings and maybe some release through the kind of rib cage area, middle spine, upper spine. And breathe. Release back to seated. Find that stack again. Pressing your hands to the floor, lifting through the spine. Breathe. And on the inhale, let's sweep our arms up one more time. Inhale. And exhale, fold one more time. Grabbing on to whatever you can grab onto. Adjusting to get into the hamstrings, adjusting to feel it through the rib cage, the back side of the back. And release. Put your hands behind you, bend your knees, both feet on the floor, and we're going to do a seated figure 4. So you may have to play with the placement of your feet a little bit, but take your right ankle and cross it over that left knee. I will forever think of this as sitting like a guy sits. You know, women were always told to be dainty and cross our legs politely, and then, man, they just put it out there. So, maybe we can call this like man posture or something. But intentionally press your right knee away from your body and intentionally think about pulling that left heel toward your body. You should be feeling it on the outside of the hip area. And I just noticed, because of that ankle injury, which I'm still nursing, if I lift that heel, I'm able to get a little bit more depth in that hip. So there's a little lever I didn't know about. And release that. Take a minute and windshield wiper both legs. And then let's take that left ankle and cross it over the right knee. And again, you decide the depth. Pull that right foot in closer for more. Walk it away from your body if you want a little less. And then, of course, the heel motion, which just ever so gently changes the stretch. Release to center, windshield wiper, a little bit more, this time feeling the relaxation in that left hip that we just did some work with. Return to center, leave your right knee in, extend your left knee out. We're gonna come forward a little bit, wrap your left arm around that knee, and we're gonna find a spinal twist to the right. Another option, if you don't like to wrap the knee, is use your elbow, your left elbow in front of the right knee. And again, notice your breath. I know I sound like a broken record. I feel like a broken record. But when we're tired, when we feel like things are hard, we hold our breath. And so when you notice your breath, you can control your breath. And you can let it go. And suddenly even the tired moments and the hard moments feel a little bit easier. And release. Let's switch legs. Right leg extends, left leg comes in. And again, wrap that arm or use that elbow to find a spinal twist to the left. Release to center. Take a moment and just bounce out your legs a little bit. And then we're going to put the soles of our feet together and come into butterfly. Another posture where you have so much control. If you want more depth, more stretch through the inner groin area, pull your legs in closer. If you want less, let your feet stay out a little further. There's no ego here. It's what feels good in your body today in this moment. So find your edge where it's just enough. And release. We're gently going to transition to our backs. If you have a block or a book or a bag of flour or anything that mimics a pillow, we're going to gently set this under our tailbone. If you don't have a block or a book or a bag of flour, just elevate your feet to the sky. However you're doing this, see if you can fully relax into this posture. Thinking back to the beginning of the class, notice the parts of your body that are on the floor. Your head, your shoulder blades, your spine. And if you're not using a block, can you feel the entire length of your spine on the floor? Notice your arms, your wrists, maybe your knuckles are on the floor. And see if you can relax into this posture. Pull your knees into your chest. Keeping your knees together, I want you to gently dip them to the right-hand side. So your arms probably need to go out to a T or to goalpost arms. But just gently twisting. This is a slight variation of where we started 45 minutes ago. Can you notice if it feels any different? Bring your knees back to center. And let's dip them to the left. In a moment, we're going to move into Shavasana, our last posture, our resting posture. If you feel you need anything before Shavasana, feel free to take that now. Bring your knees back to center. And slowly make your way into what you want to be your final resting posture. Traditional Shavasana, you're on your back. Your arms and legs are splayed out, relaxing, but Shavasana on your side can feel amazing. Shavasana on your stomach. Maybe you want to cover yourself with a blanket. Set yourself up for a really nice rest. Shavasana. Gently start to reawaken your body. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, your ankles, your wrists. Maybe rock your head from side to side. Tick-tock your hips, just gently reawakening. Move a little bit more actively, working toward your side body. Maybe you use your arm as a pillow. Enjoying a nice, easy transition back to a seated position. No hurry. Let's enjoy 3 more deep breaths together. Bring your hands to your heart center and let's inhale together. Exhale together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Friends, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being a part of this Gilda's Club community. Thank you for being a part of this world we call home and for helping make it a more beautiful place. Please know that you are loved and you are appreciated. And I am grateful for all that you are in this community. Let's bow together and say namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great week. Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. Thank you for being with us. It might be you.
I enjoyed it so much. It was really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was trying to find a place to find, so you could sing it later.
Thank you.
Well, I hope everybody has a great week this week.
Well, how's your job going?
It's good. It is really good. You know, it's just a